scent of the earth. Come the color of the seasons. Exploring the 4 seasons of Japan. A bud of a rice plant starts to stretch and bear fruit. Rice grows well in the humid summer of Japan. And ears of the rice start to bow their heads. For the Japanese, this scene is seen as a symbol of a rich dietary culture. Legends say that rice was brought to Japan by a deity. Long ago, the Japanese regarded rice as the center of their food culture. The desire of wanting to make as many grains of delicious rice as possible has for many centuries created the nostalgic landscape of Japan. Elaborate devices were made to pump water to lands on higher elevation than rivers. In Japan, it is said that 7 deities dwell in a single grain of rice. Ancient wisdom that has been passed down to protect rice. Rice is a soul food that is close to the hearts of the Japanese. Tsushima faces the Korean peninsula across the sea. Ever since the prehistoric Jomon period, the island has had much exchange with the continent. At the southern tip of the island is the Tsutsu district, a fishing town with a population of about 1,000. A red variety of rice has been grown for a long time in this area, which is abundant in fruits of the sea. This is a rice field that is set aside for the red rice that has been passed down on the island. The rice seedlings are planted in June. The local people have protected this rice field for generations. The rice seedlings are planted individually by hand, like it has always been done through the ages. Nowadays, those doing the planting are all fishermen. The red rice harvested in this field is believed to be a guardian deity for fishermen. After the rice has been planted, everybody eats the rice harvested the previous year. Red rice. Its color is the natural hue of the rice and is one of the varieties introduced into Japan in ancient times.
うまい。食べてみるんですか。うまい。お前おみか。
はい。はい。いただきます。
There is a unique tradition of how to eat the red rice.
これはね、この赤米の唯一の副食なんです。これでないといけないんです。これは何でしょうか。海藻です。はい、これとこの大根の千切りが昔からこの赤米につけられた副食なんです。でこれを手に直にこうしてあげてこれいただくのが普通で、このこうしていただくのが今までの習慣です。
全部船に持って行ってですね、漁するように船でも炊いて食べます。そしたら何か知らんですけど量がありますね。完全に今日はやったなとして米のせいじゃなと、そういう気持ちになりますね。
The red rice is eaten with the seaweed and is believed to nurture the fruits of the sea and that a deity dwells inside it. In autumn, after the harvest of the red rice, there's an interesting custom. The unhusked grains of red rice are put in a bale and taken inside a house. The bale is then hung from the ceiling in the back parlor. Here, once again, there is a connection with the ocean. A seaweed is attached to the bale. This is where a deity will come from beyond the sea and dwell. Finally, seawater is sprinkled on. At that moment, a deity descends and inhabits the red rice. It is a ritual engraved with memories from when the red rice was first brought to Tsushima. It watches over the fishermen when at sea and brings success in fishing. By mid-August, the rice has grown vigorously, and the ears of rice are starting to sprout. Soon the ears of rice will protrude outside, and then the rice will flower. There are only 2 hours for the flower to pollinate after it comes into bloom. The pollinated pistil becomes the fruit of the rice plant. In other words, the rice grains. This is the foot of Mount Fuji, the highest mountain in Japan. Here again is a rice field, where there are those who are keen on making delicious rice. In addition to a volcanic ash soil which has poor water retention, due to the high altitude, the temperature does not rise in this area. The land was once considered to be unsuitable for rice cultivation. But now, the rice harvested here is known for its good taste. This is one of the growers who has won many contests and has helped raise the reputation of the rice. 72-year-old Takashi Uematsu. Uematsu continues to make rice in the rice fields his father cultivated without the use of herbicides. Rice cultivation began here 70 years ago, during the Second World War when there were food shortages. It was Uematsu's father, Yoneichiro, who first took up the challenge. Yoneichiro got rid of a vegetable field to draw spring water and ordered rice varieties that are resistant to the cold. Such efforts came to fruition, and Yoneichiro was able to harvest rice in the first year, although the volume was small. Yoneichiro's challenging spirit inspired the people in the region who had given up on making rice. The rice fields gradually expanded as they spread the waterways and increased new cold-resistant varieties of rice. Uematsu is a second-generation rice farmer who has been making rice at the foot of Mount Fuji. As it starts to get dark outside, Uematsu's ingenuity for making delicious rice is demonstrated. What is he doing at the rice fields at this time of the day? He draws into the rice fields cold water from the mountain. Unlike warm water, which the rice prefers, isn't cold water a hindrance to its growth?
結構冷たいのね、これね。日中はこの水ないからこうやって結構暖かいじゃないですか、この土も。ね。それによって冷やすことによって美味しいお米ができる。
This is Uematsu's unique way of making rice while limiting its growth. It is a cultivation method that utilizes the negative factors of cold water in reverse. It is assumed that the sweetness of the rice increases by restraining its growth with cold water. The cultivation of rice spread to various parts of Japan, and in order to make more rice, people made rice fields even on sloping terrain. This terraced rice field was cultivated nearly 400 years ago. In search of rich soil, this rice field was made by maximizing steep slopes. It is a scenery which has been created meticulously by hand. About 8,000 of these rice fields existed 100 years ago. In 2011, it was registered as a globally important agricultural heritage system by the United Nations. This is the triple water wheel of Hishino, an irrigation facility made 200 years ago. These oldest working water wheels in Japan still pump water to 35 hectares of rice fields. The flow of the river turns the water wheel and pumps the water. Then the water is sent to the rice fields located higher than the river. The water is used with care.
おかげで干ばつになってもですね、水車もう少しの水でも舞うとですよ。そういう関係でおかげでもう水のないちゅうことはないですね。やっぱ水のおかげですね、ユネスコでは。
Once again, it is a scene created due to the wishes of the people wanting to produce a lot of rice. The deep relationship between the Japanese and rice has its roots in Ise, the center of faith in Japan since ancient times. The Ise shrine enshrines the deity Amaterasu, who in myths is said to be the ancestor of the Japanese imperial family. Legend has it that Amaterasu gave its offspring some rice and sent them down to the land of Japan. The day at the shrine begins with a priest fetching some water. 5 priests who have been cleansing themselves from the day before prepare for the day. They head to a shrine where a meal for the deity has been prepared from early morning. This is a menu for one particular day. Vegetables and fruits in season, and fish. Of course, there is some rice, which is grown especially for this purpose. The meal is placed in a box made of cypress called karahitsu, which is made for storing meals for the deity. This ritual is repeated twice a day for the morning and evening meals. The meal is purified by the priest and is taken into the sacred dining hall where the deity awaits. The rice for the deity is grown in rice fields owned by the Ise shrine. The rice offered every day to the deity is made at this rice field called the Jingu Shinden. The day starts at the rice field of the deity. The white work clothes are a sign of purity. It is said that the deity who established the Ise shrine ordered that the rice for the deity be grown at this rice field. For many years, local volunteers have supported the growing of the rice. This is Takeshi Yamaguchi. He is an agricultural engineer working for the Ise shrine and is in charge of making the rice. During college, Yamaguchi was studying rice. He heard that the Ise shrine was looking for an agricultural engineer, and he visited the shrine's rice field. The surprise he experienced then helped him decide on his career.
神様のために食べ物を作ってる。お供え物ですけどね。お供え物を作ってって、それが 考えられないかったわけですよね、最初は。人間が食べるために作ってるものが作られていて、それが後で知ったことですけど、何千年も前から作られている。稲をお分かちいただいたが直接の神様ですので、僕のこの言葉で正しいのか分かりません。神職さんは怒られるかもしれません。すごい先見性だと思います。その当時からこれが主食だって知り得た人は誰がいたのかなと思いますね。
This is the rice field of the deity who introduced rice. There must be no crop failure or poor harvest. The work requires the fullest attention. This is mushiokuri, which literally means sending off insects, a seasonal tradition for rice fields seen in summer. Torches are lit to ward off insects that are harmful to the rice. This is an event that took place in many parts of Japan during a time when there were no pesticides. It is a way of repelling insect pests, exploiting their tendency to gather at a light source, and is also a remnant of a past era. In Japan, autumn, the season for harvesting rice, is also the season for typhoons. In September, a large typhoon hits the rice fields of the Ise Shrine. It is the last trial just before the harvest. Will the rice of the deity withstand the typhoon? After the typhoon has passed, it is time for the harvesting festival. About 40 priests gather at the rice field of the deity. Yamaguchi, the agricultural engineer, wears the yellow kariginu, a type of traditional garment. He attends the ritual and watches over the harvest. The harvested rice is called the hatsuho, or first fruits, and is offered to the deity first. One by one, the rice plants are harvested by hand. This is said to be an age-old custom when the rice was harvested manually. The harvested rice is then dried in the sun. Because a lot of short and strong varieties were planted, the rice was able to ride out the typhoon.
農業をやっているとほとんど天の恵みに支えられてはいるんですが、そこに人の力があってこそこの恵みがあると思ってます。ですので人の作業をおろそかにして、現在のこの成果が成し得ていると思います。大部分は、自然に委ねられてますので神様の懐にあるとは思うんですけども、
怠けたりおろそかにはできない、ところは十分にあるんじゃないかなと思ってます。
Autumn has come to Mount Fuji. It is harvest time for rice at the foot of the mountain. At Uematsu's house, they have just cooked some new rice of the season.
とても美味しそうな匂いですね。お米の艶も白く光ってて、はい、1年の田植えから今日までの苦労がパッと飛んじゃうような感じの、感謝してですね。はい。
Three generations of the family gather at the table to eat.
新しい新米だよ。みんなしていただきましょう。はい、いただきます。こうして匂い嗅いでみ、匂いがいい匂いしてるでしょ。新しいお米の匂いが。ね。
Long ago, rice journeyed far and reached the shores of Japan. It is shiny. It is soft and sticky. The rice is so radiant that indeed there could be 7 deities dwelling in each of the grains. This is rice, a treasure that the Japanese have cherished for a very long time.